What's up guys? In today's video, I'm going to go over 3 tips to having a successful Etsy store in 2022. I'm gonna be covering all of that and some more, so let's get into it. What's up guys, my name is Hannah Gardner, and if you are new to the channel, I talk about how to build an e-commerce business mainly on Etsy and Shopify. I started 2 online brands back in 2019. I'm sharing that journey, all of my wins and all of my losses on this channel. So if that is something that you're into, please do go ahead and subscribe to the channel. So let's just dive right into it. My first tip of being successful on Etsy.com in 2022 is to make sure that your store is data driven. So what does that actually mean? That means that you're making higher level decisions, either the type of store that you're gonna launch, the type of products you're gonna launch, the value proposition that you're going to have for your product. So what are you selling? What are they getting for what price? Other things like what is your marketing? How is your marketing going to beat your competition? So what does this mean to really build a business that is data driven? That means that you are not blindly just building out stores or launching products and designing items that you really don't know are going to sell, putting in all this work and time and effort without some type of data or some type of indicator. You know, there is a want for what you have to sell, and also you are going to beat your competition. I just was rewatching my footage and I just wanted to make a little bit more in-depth example of what I'm talking about data driven when you're choosing, you know, your niches, your new product launches, your keywords, and all the things that you really need to be doing at a higher level and being really intentional with when you're launching your products in your stores, et cetera, et cetera. So here's just one real life example of just an example of a process that I actually do when I am looking for new products. So say I was, you know, going into the dog niche and I want to, you know, start designing and sewing dog collars. An example of this, and to really make sure that I'm choosing a design and I'm choosing a category that, you know, one, there's actually sales volume. So people are actually searching dog collar. I'm actually confirming that with data to know that there's actually a want for the products that I have to sell. But then 2, when I go about actually, you know, intentionally trying to figure out, you know, what my product listing is going to look like, how I'm going to design the product, maybe what fabrics I'm going to use or what materials I'm going to use. I'm going to use my Everbee Chrome extension here, which the link for this is in the description. I am a huge proponent of Everbee. There's a lot of new softwares coming out that help you, you know, with Etsy and putting data behind some of your higher level decisions. But Everbee is one of my favorites. I personally prefer it over all the others just because of the ease of it, the price of it, and you know, it pulls the data really, really fast. So once you download this Chrome extension here and you type in a keyword, so I'm searching a really broad, probably a really high search volume keyword here, dog collar, because I'm trying to figure out what the opportunity is in this category. So I typed in that keyword here, and I'm actually going to click this little sidebar here, and I'm going to pull the analytics for all the people that are ranking on the first page for the keyword dog collar. So now I really want to analyze who is really crushing it in the dog collar space, because I also want to go ahead and probably launch some dog collars. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to look at who the top seller is here, who is selling the most units. I'm not really concerned about what the revenue is or what their estimated total sales are. I just want to know who's pushing the most units. This is all heavily estimated. So it's not so much these numbers, because your numbers are going to be different depending on what your price point is, what your costs are, what your expenses are. So I want to see who is selling the most units and what are they offering? What's their value proposition? What does their marketing look like? That's what I'm looking for. So basically what I would do here is I would, you know, check out this guy here. I don't want to click on any ads because, you know, they are one of the people at the top, but I want to see more so who is organically at the top, organically making the most sales for dog collar. So I'm going to click this guy here and let's check out what he's doing, what he's offering, what price point he's at. So the first thing that I notice is the images, how fully optimized and beautiful the images are. The next thing is I want to look at, you know, the price points that they have, the value proposition, meaning what are they offering? They're offering multiple things at many different prices, but of course, Etsy's going to show you the cheapest price first. So that's a really good value proposition, that they have a lower
cost item to choose from, but then they also have all of these awesome variations. This is huge. This is like an entire store in one listing because of all these variations. So those are all the things that I want to note when I'm looking at my competition and looking at my competitor analysis, because I'm going to, take those KPIs and I'm not going to copy them. I'm not going to go and steal this guy's design. I want to beat this design. I want to build a better product. I want to build a better business so I can also rank to the top. The last thing that I'm really curious about here is their keywords. So not only the words that they're ranking for here in their title, but with this Chrome extension, I can hit this little B right here and it's going to show me the exact tags that they're using. Right down here. So that's just good things to note and good notes to put to the side when I actually go into launching my own products for, whatever category or whatever niche that I'm going into. So that's a little example of some of the ways that I kind of what I mean when I'm talking about data and really being sure that, what products I'm choosing actually are going to win. And I'm not just going to go put all this time and energy into designing and creating and building and doing photography and writing copy, to have a dead listing. You want to put some data, you want to see that, there is some indicators that, when you enter the marketplace, you have a chance to be successful. So that was just a little more depth example of what I mean by data driven. I have more videos for this, in my channel, so be sure to check those out as well.
With that being said, I do want to make a bigger point, especially for new people when they're first starting to launch a store. I tend to run into two different types of entrepreneurs. There is that entrepreneur who believes they have the newest, best, greatest idea by reinventing the wheel, launching something that really doesn't exist yet. And then there's the entrepreneur that sees what everyone else is doing and wants to go build that like a similar type of product or a similar type of business model, but just do it better. There's pros and cons to both of them, and I kind of want to explain the psychology behind that real quick. One, for the entrepreneur that has this grand idea and they're building this product that doesn't exist yet, that could be a really good thing, but it could also be a really dangerous territory, especially if you're new into entrepreneurship and you're just starting out and you really don't know what you're doing. I will say, if you are that type of entrepreneur, that's awesome because you feel very confident and you're excited about what you're doing. But on the verse side of that, the thing that you have to understand, if you are going to be that entrepreneur that just launches something that's so niche or so specific that nobody else is selling, you want to make sure that you are still doing product research and putting data behind the products that you're going to launch, because that could indicate that there's not a large search volume for that thing. It's not that the product's not great, but because it's so specific or so different, people aren't going to the internet. They're not going to the Etsy.com search engine and searching in those keywords. So that means it's going to be very hard to sell. And you're just going to spend more money and more time marketing that product to prove yourself to the marketplace. Now, on the verse side of that, if you're launching products that do already exist or you have competition for, competition is not necessarily a negative thing. Competition shows not only if you have competition, but if you see that you have competitors that are making a lot of sales, that can indicate that that could be a good product to go into. And with that being said, you need to look at what's out there, what your competitors are doing, what value propositions they have, and then you coming into that space need to figure out how you can build a better product, have a better value proposition, or beat your competition, something where when you enter the marketplace, you have a good value prop already coming in, whether you're gonna beat them in marketing, in price point, in bundling, in quality, in features, or something like that. I just wanna point out those two different types of people that really tend to enter online business and selling physical products. All right, moving on to my tip number 2 is to make sure that you are fully optimizing your storefront and your product listings. So what does that mean? When you are creating your Etsy store or when you are setting up your Etsy listings, wherever Etsy is allowing you to put information in or put data in, whether that is your photos, whether that's your tags, your titles, your descriptions, any form, any place that you can add in size, color, features, variations, tags, you're gonna wanna make sure that you are giving Etsy as much information about your products and your store as possible. So even on your storefront side, you have the option to give your store a brand title, a slogan, an about me section. You can put me in about me video. Etsy is giving you a lot of opportunity to really allow your store and your listings to shine. So you need to make sure that wherever you can input information about your product listings or your store, you are doing that. Setting up a listing, as you can see here, you have 10 spots for photos, put all 10 photos. You have a spot to add a video, put a video. You have 13 tags, put 13 tags. All of these things help you and tell Etsy what you are selling, and you're giving yourself a better opportunity and to be seen on a broader level for, you know, these search terms. Etsy's AI is way smarter than you, and if you are inputting enough data and a lot of data about who you are and what you stand for and all the features of your products, Etsy is going to reward you for that and put you where you want to be seen. So making sure that your storefronts are fully optimized, again, with a banner, about me section, about me video, all of those things, FAQs, return policies, you want to make sure that all of that is fully optimized and competitive for your space. So that is my quick little tip number 2. And my third quick tip is testing. Testing. When it comes to your product listings, you can't expect to just put up one listing and become a millionaire overnight. That's just not what it is. You can take one product, one SKU, and test it a million different ways to really see which one gets you the most exposure, which one Etsy allows you to have the most impressions on. And what that means is perhaps you're selling t-shirts. Instead of just putting up one picture of the one t-shirt and just hope that it goes viral, you can actually take that SKU and test it a bunch of different ways. So you can take that listing and run it against 10 other listings that may have that product in it, but test it out bundling items. So taking 2 shirts and offering 2 shirts for the price of one, or making bundles with maybe that SKU or that specific t-shirt and selling it with a different t-shirt in the same listing. Maybe testing out price point to see which price point works better between maybe 1 month you try to sell at one price point and you see how many sales you get or what your revenue is, and maybe the next month you test out at a different price point and see which one actually generates more revenue. E-commerce is so much about testing, and I can't stress enough, as it gets more competitive, you need to be testing and seeing what works. There's so many variables when it comes to creating product listings, even product stores. Testing is going to become your best friend. So as I mentioned before, some ways that you can do this is by testing the product itself, testing a listing with keywords and then running it against another listing that has different keywords but still keyword product fit to see which one does better, testing product images to see which ones get better CTRs, which is click-through rates. So there's so much testing that can be done within your store to really find your best sellers and find what works and what doesn't work. Real top sellers, the people that are selling thousands of units a month on Etsy, they're probably a large portion of their time is spent testing product listings. Not only testing products, but testing the product listings themselves. All food for thought when you're thinking about key components of what makes a really, really successful Etsy business. With that being said, I hope you guys found some value out of this video. And if you have any questions at all, please do comment down below. Subscribe to the channel if you are interested in seeing more videos, and I will see you guys in the next video.